Hello and welcome to another video. There's one consistent problem that I think a lot of photographers have, and I'm wondering if you feel the same way too. And that is that your photography has maybe plateaued out and stopped improving. Because I think that happens to most of us at some point. And you think maybe your images aren't that bad, but you look at other people's, people that you admire, and you're thinking to yourself, why aren't my images as good as theirs? Well, I'm going to reveal one thing that every single one of those photographers has done at some point to develop their photography. And it's something that I've done myself and continue to do, in fact. So I'm going to cover 4 major points that you need to understand in order to make this happen. And make sure you stick around to the end, because I'm going to take a photo that's not great and show you exactly how to turn it into something far stronger using simple techniques that anyone can apply. So here's a thing that I stumbled on kind of by accident really, and then it turned out to be an actual thing in real life, which I didn't know. And it was actually a process that's used by big corporations to improve everything about the running of and efficiency of those businesses. But I'd been applying a version of this in order to get my photography up to scratch, and I didn't even realise it. And it's something that you can really easily apply to your own photography. And that thing that I'm talking about is something that's called Kaizen, which is also called continuous improvement. And you may well have heard of it before, and I suppose it is a bit of a buzzword, and you may even be rolling your eyes a little now. But just let me explain a bit. So it comes from Japan, and I am absolutely not an expert in this. But here's what Wikipedia has to say about it, which I find really interesting. It asserts that significant positive results may be achieved due to the cumulative effect of many often small and even trivial improvements to all aspects of a company's operations. And then the other thing that I'm really interested in is this bit. Kaizen may also be referred to as zero investment improvement due to its utilization of existing resources. I do think it's got a place in any pastime or hobby or profession where you are an individual trying to get better at that thing that you're doing. So this is how I see it. We all start at the bottom of the stairs, let's say. So we're all at that first step, which represents the rule of thirds. And that step also consists of all those really simple basic things that you need to get you off to a good start. But they only get you so far. And you want to get right up there where the greats of photography are, or whatever you choose to place up there. But this is your goal and the place where you want to end up. And not moving on from these early steps is the cause of that stagnation. And every single accomplished photographer, regardless of their natural born talent, they all start here and they all have to follow these intermediate steps to get here. And this is where the continuous improvement is. So learning things like the rule of thirds when you're starting out are very helpful, but they are only the starting point. To actually improve, you have to break those simple ideas down and understand why a photo works or doesn't work. What really matters is learning the underlying skills. Giving objects breathing room, avoiding visual clutter, separating elements so that they're instantly recognizable, and controlling what sits near the edges of the frame, and making the subject big enough in the frame so that the viewer can instantly see what it is, and then removing anything that doesn't belong in the composition. And these are refinements, small, deliberate improvements that go beyond the rule of thirds, and this is where a continuous improvement thing comes in. You learn the basics, then you keep sharpening them, step by step, until the rules fall away and you're left with a deeper understanding of what's going on. Before we move on to the next section, don't forget to hit subscribe, give the video a like and drop a comment to let me know what you think so far. And if you want to go deeper, then just scan in this QR code to join my newsletter. Plus, check out the links below for my complete composition course. It includes assignments, personal feedback, and a private space where you can connect with me and other photographers. So just check out that in the description below. So to achieve all of this, you need to study photographers that you admire. You can copy them and their compositions, but always with a view to create something that's more personal to you. Use their compositions to learn and then apply it to your own natural way of thinking. Experienced photographers will always play to their strengths. They will find out what those strengths are slowly over time. It's part of that incremental and constant and relentless improvement, and that's what you need to do. Seeing what works for them will help you to find out what works for you. Because when you work out how somebody else does something, one of the first things you're going to say is, well, I'd rather do it like that. And that's you becoming an individual, refining what you're learning from others into something that's particular and personal to you. Once you find out what works for you, then you really need to home in on that and then refine that further and keep improving, small, constant, incremental improvements. In landscape photography, it's easy to specialize early on. You see those sunrise and sunset shots and you really want to recreate them. And I am no different. And if it's what you're passionate about, then you should really go for it. But the techniques that make a strong photograph apply everywhere, not just in those sunrise and sunset photos. So if you're out in the middle of the day under dull, flat clouds, the challenge is just the same. You still have to apply the same rules about space, about leaving space around objects, making sure that every object is instantly recognizable. Checking around the edges of the frame to make sure there's no distracting objects dragging the eye away from the subject, and making decisions that guide the viewer's eye. Those underlying skills do not change no matter what. They apply to every single genre of photography. And that's why you need to practice in all conditions, not just the perfect ones. The more you shoot in ordinary situations, the more automatic those skills become. Then when that rare moment finally appears, the one you've waited months for, you'll know exactly what to do because you've already trained those instincts. So go out and photograph the everyday stuff in everyday places. If you can create compelling images from something that many people would consider to be boring, then you're really developing your abilities to be able to take photos of anything, anywhere. And once you can do that, you're far better prepared for those unique, once-only opportunities. Real expertise in an area of photography doesn't come from one single thing. That expertise comes from hundreds of smaller things that combine and work together. So I'm going to go back over that mild obsession over gear thing that most of us have had at some point, which I did have, and I do like technology and stuff like that. So I can be a bit geeky at times, but I know that ultimately I have to get out there and practice and practice and practice, because that makes me go over these things and allows me to work on those incremental changes and gives me new ideas for the future, and it helps me to develop my style. And there's a long list of things camera gear will never do for you. It won't think for you. It won't tell a story. It won't compose the frame for you. It won't get you out of bed early to get that all-elusive shot. It won't move you to the right spot that you need to be at a certain time. And it definitely won't create meaning or emotion. The best photographers tell strong stories. They create impactful compositions and commit to being at the right place at the right time and develop a unique viewpoint and instinct for timing and stuff like that. And their images carry emotional weight, the thing that people actually remember when looking at photos. And it's why all of us need those incremental improvements and changes and additions over time. And there is no escape from doing that if you want to go from a beginner to an accomplished photographer. Those steps in the middle are absolutely unavoidable. Okay then, this is the moment I mentioned earlier. If you want to see exactly how to take those average photos and turn them into something far stronger, this video right here walks you through the whole process in just 14 minutes.